Welcome to another amazingly average game review. My name's Anthony, and this time I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Age 2 by Bioware and published by EA Games. The story of Dragon Age 2 places you in the role of Hawke. Now you can either be male or female, but no matter what, you are going to be a human. You don't have the choice of being either an elf or a dwarf like you did with Dragon Age Origins. And from there, you still get to choose your class of either being a mage, a rogue, or a warrior, and then you can continue from there. But what happens is Hawke is trying to flee with his siblings and mother from Lothering, which is still in the middle of being sacked by the Darkspawn during the Fifth Blight, and just trying to survive. And you flee with your family to the city of Kirkwall, which is located in the Free Marches, which is a self-governed kind of group of city-states. They aren't part of Freldon or Ley or Antiva or any of those other places. They don't have any kind of like rulership other than something similar to a mayor, which is known as a viscount. And really you're just trying to get by. You're trying to provide the best you can for your family in very harsh circumstances considering you're Freldon refugees. And the interesting way the story is told is from the perspective of Varric, who is a all-around badass and paragon of manliness, who is kind of being interrogated by Cassandra Pendergast, who is a seeker for the Chantry. And she kind of wants to know the story of the Champion of Kirkwall, because currently all the Chantries are in disarray, and you have the Mages and the Templars, which Templars are elite warriors who kind of are supposed to be almost like a sense of police, or in worse cases more like corrupt prison guards, that manages the Mages. And there's an all-out civil war, and the only real detail that's known is that the champion's involved. So the story is kind of being told by Varric, but you kind of play through the story, so it's an interesting way how they transition between the two. And without giving too much away and really spoiling much, the story definitely has quite a bit of tragedy. They're really trying to tell a much more personal story. They really want you to feel for Hawke, Hawke's family, as well as Hawke's rogue gallery of companions that you come across. They all kind of have their own motivations, their own backstories, and it kind of makes him more human, in a sense. And Kirkwall is by no means any place that's full of sunshine and rainbows. There's definitely a lot that's going on there. You have the Qunari that are stranded, that's causing a lot of unease for the nobles, as well as just the other people that live in Kirkwall. You also have the rising tension that's between the Mages and the Templars, and you're kind of just thrust in the middle of all of this that's going on, trying to make peace in any way you can, or however you choose to. Immediately, one thing you'll notice about combat is it's definitely a lot more fast-paced. You do have the option of kind of freezing combat for a moment to choose different moves, use potions, sustained abilities, and so on, but in terms of attacking is concerned, you kind of have more of what some people even call butt mashing, to where it's no longer just the auto attack of sitting there going. You get to do it kind of in real time. It is a little bit of butt mashing, but it helps the combat to feel a little more visceral and fast-paced. Kind of adds to it, gives it a little bit more life. The way equipment is handled is a little bit different. You still have different pieces to go ahead and choose from your armor and weaponry, but in terms of armor, it's not as important as you would really think or feel in an RPG, considering that at the end of, or near the end of each act, which it's broken into, you get a set of armor that gives you bonuses, and just overall is better than almost any armor you could really find out there, with the exception of the Black Emporium, which is in DLC, which even then, the set armor is usually better than what you'll find there. And unfortunately, they decided to kind of cut back as far as your companions are concerned, and you can't just give them any kind of equipment. You can still give them different weapons, but in terms of armor, that is now kind of set in stone. They have only what they have. You can't swap it out for anything better or anything else. What you can do, however, is either through shops, or even by doing different missions for them, or even just out and about, you can get little like pieces that kind of upgrade that specific armor. But it kind of takes away from the customization of your teammates and that all-around just RPG feel to a certain extent. Even the abilities have changed to a certain degree, to the point where they actually have trees now instead of the way it was just in columns and rows. And even some of these abilities you need a combination of just to meet prerequisites to unlock other passive abilities, sustained abilities, and so on. And not only that, but for anything that you have existing as far as certain activated abilities, you have the option of even upgrading it further. Either giving it a massive bonus to damage, stun chance, and so on, or causing even greater effect in the chance that you go ahead and use said ability as a cross-class combo. Specializations have also returned in Dragon Age 2, to where you can go ahead and choose between two of them. Upon choosing specialization, like before, you get an instantaneous bonus to your stats, as well as the fact that you have now a new tree of different abilities to choose from. For companions, they even have their own specific tree that's tailored to them, their abilities, and even kind of in a sense their personalities, which is further enhanced based off of the new system of handling your companions, which is either friend or rival. Interactions have also changed with companions, as I previously mentioned, not only affecting their stats or even just their standing with one another, but instead of being able to just go ahead and throw gifts at them to get them to like you could in Dragon Age Origins, the way it works is it's mostly through conversation-based. So the way you handle certain NPCs, or the way you handle certain conversations with these characters, kind of affect whether or not they see you as a friend or as a rival throughout the story. And even then, whether they're friend or rivals, in a slight sense, can impact how they're treated throughout the story as well. One of the great things about Dragon Age 2 is actually its story. Despite the fact that it is a little bit rushed between its 3 acts, especially with the time jumps, you definitely got the opportunity to know more about your character, really kind of try and identify or just understand them, as well as the companions and NPCs around them. The combat is a little bit more fast-paced, which, like I said, I kind of prefer that. It felt more engaging than the previous combat system. And the only real downside that I had, besides, again, it feeling just a little bit short in the whole run of things, is the fact that they overused the hell out of the maps. I understand that it's in Kirkwall, but you're going in the same dungeon. You're saying, if you're going to a dock, it's like you're always in the same dock. For some reason, all the bad stuff happens in this one place, and you'd think that the guards or somebody would do something about it. Or if you're going into even like the deep roads look very similar to some of the other caves and caverns you went into. It really just felt sloppy, and you can kind of tell that the game was rushed because of this. Overall, though, Dragon Age 2 was a great game. It was a step forward in some aspects, but quite a few steps back in others. Which is why, for this game, the score I'm going to give it is a 7.5 out of 10. That still actually places this game as a buy, and I would definitely recommend buying it if you haven't had the opportunity to, because despite its flaws, once again, it is still a good game, and it is an important part of the Dragon Age series, especially leading into Dragon Age Inquisition. I hope you enjoyed and found this review informative. I thank you for watching, and until next time.
I got one.
Oh, that's too dead!
I got the other. Oh my god, we cleaned house, dude, I think.
Yeah, we did. Mess up Steve! Mess up Steve!